post-Turkey Day Football Sunday game breakdowns. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. If you missed my Thanksgiving video and you're here before Thanksgiving, I'll link it right up there. I break down Thanksgiving and Black Friday game for the NFL, but we are on to Sunday in this video, breaking down the rest, and we don't have any bye weeks, guys. No more bye weeks in the NFL, so that is good, I guess, but it also means I have more games to cover, and we need to go quickly through those, so let's start now. And start we will with an NFC South battle, and at the end of the day, I think the Saints are still the better team in this one, although they are the underdog, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Carr is still in concussion protocol. There are too many questions for this team, and there are too many questions for the Falcons, who are now back to starting Desmond Ridder. I don't know what is happening in this NFC South division. A lot of mediocre teams, but if my life was on the line, I would take Saints plus 1.5 because I do think the Falcons are a bad team, and I guess I'll take the under in a low confidence bet. I promise I'll have some picks that aren't red coming up. The Steelers head to Cincinnati in a game that has playoff implications. The Steelers are 1.5-point favorites, and they're facing the Bengals, who are now starting their backup. However, this backup has had a week and a half prep. Remember, the Bengals lost Joe Burrow on Thursday of last week, so they have some extra time to prepare. I think this defense of Cincinnati can stop kind of a mid-tier Pittsburgh offense, so I think the under is the play here, under 34.5. I know that total is so low, but divisional matchup, post-Thanksgiving hangovers. We'll take the under here. I think this is a must-win spot for the Steelers, and I hope that Mike Tomlin gets them ready for this game, and I think he will get them ready for this game. But as you can see, not a ton of confidence on either side for me in this one. So these are the picks, but I would stay away from this game if I was you guys. This game is the equivalent of 3-day-old Thanksgiving leftovers. No one's interested. If I had to pick, Titans minus 3.5 and the under 36.5, but yuck. Let's just throw this game out. Why do the Colts play at home every week? Have they gone on the road? Have the Colts had a road game? They went to Germany, right? And after that, they've been in Indy every single week. I think for Tampa Bay, this is a tough game mentally because they were just in Santa Clara. They come home for Thanksgiving across the entire country, and then they have to get back on the road again and head to Indianapolis. I just think they've been beat up all season. I don't think this week is a good prep for them. So give me the Colts minus 2.5 in a high confidence play. They're coming off a bye week. They have another home game. They are playing for a wild card spot in this one. It's a must win for a wild card spot, I believe anyway. So give me the Colts minus 2.5 and the over 43.5. And this is actually going to be an extra most bestest pick. Throw the stamp on there. Okay, they're still stuck up on my Thanksgiving plays, but we're going to make this an extra most bestest pick. So just imagine that my stamp of approval is sitting right there on that minus 2.5. I do not understand how the Giants are underdogs in this game. Plus 3.5? You're giving me a whole field goal? That's a slam. That is a high confidence bet. I think they found momentum. I think DeVito has another week under his belt, another week of practice. Their defense is playing well, and they're a home dog against this Patriots team that has so many questions. Yeah, the bye week can help, but they can't score. They're the worst offensive team in the league, averaging 15 points a game. I don't know who's starting at QB. Probably Bailey Zappa. I don't care. Give me Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito. Give me this DeVito kid and the Giants plus 3.5. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful matchup. I am glad that we have this matchup. I wish this would have been the Black Friday matchup. I think it would have been much more exciting to see these two teams square off. But could the NFL have predicted the Houston Texans being this strong? I don't think so. So, not strong enough. Not strong enough. Jacksonville minus 1.5 is another high confidence play for me this week, and the under 48.5 is an average confidence play. And here's why. I believe the Jaguars are the best AFC South team, and I believe this is a absolute revenge spot from their week 3 loss to the Texans. Loss, more like blowout, okay? Texans came in and dominated that game. Houston does not run the ball. This is a one-dimensional team that revolves around C.J. Stroud, and I just think he's going to have to break and probably break sooner or later, and this is the game that I believe he breaks in. Although the Jags' secondary is not that great, but I think they'll come in prepared to stop the pass and stop the pass only. As for Houston, yes, they are the hottest team in the NFL right now, but like I said, I don't think Stroud is going to stand the test one more week. Let's look at Houston's last 2 months. I'll put their schedule up here on the screen. Okay. Whomst have they played? Whomst have they faced? There's not a lot of competition on that list. So I think this is their biggest game and toughest game in 2 months. So I like Jacksonville to come in and take that 1.5. I think that line is too low given the soft, cushy schedule that the Texans have had. And I think they play good defense, so under 48.5. How does a Browns-Broncos game have playoff implications? Your guess is as good as mine, but it does. I hate this game, though. I don't want to talk about this game. I would stay totally away from this game. But Broncos' momentum is stronger, I believe, than the Browns' momentum. Both defenses are playing well, so give me the under and give me the Broncos by a field goal. This is another spread that has me a bit perplexed. Rams plus 1.5. Rams are the underdog in this one, and I've not seen anything out of Arizona that would make me think they should be favored, even at home. So I would take the Rams plus 1.5, and I would take the over 44.5 in this one. But again, this is a game that I'm staying away from. Kansas City goes on the road to Las Vegas, and this Kansas City team, I'll say it again, it's not the same team that we've seen in years past. This offense is struggling. The receivers are dropping balls. Patrick Mahomes is not able to create and do as much in an offense that doesn't have weapons like Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce is more concerned with traveling to see his girlfriend perform. And I just think we are seeing the culmination of all of that, and we saw it on Monday night. Yes, the Eagles are a great team. Not taking anything away from the Eagles, but this is not the same Chiefs team. And the Raiders are finding a groove. So you're giving me dog points and the under and a Kansas City game. That is my favorite bet in the last 2 months. You take the dogs points and you take the under when the Kansas City Chiefs are in the game, and it has been hot. So we're going to ride it again. Now, the Raiders competed on the road in Miami, a game that when I made the video, 12.5 point dog. By kickoff, it was 14. So I kind of lost closing line value there, but either pick one. This is a divisional matchup. We know those often go low scoring. Teams are used to seeing each other. Raiders defense is playing well. So I just think on a short week, on a holiday week for these Chiefs having to travel to Las Vegas, yeah, give me the Raiders. Man, push 9.5 and the under in this one, baby. I'm feeling good about it. This matchup will be one for the ages, and I think one of the best football games that we could potentially see all year. I would take the Bills. I know this is going to shock some people. I would take the Bills on the road plus 3.5, and I would take the over 48, although that is a low confidence pick. I do predict this will be a shootout. The Bills are on the outside looking in of the playoffs, which is wild to say, and their remaining schedule is just brutal. And it does not start, these last few games do not start easy. They have to go to Philadelphia, which we know Philadelphia was my Super Bowl pick in my last ratings video. So I think Josh Allen balls out in this one. I think he runs for 50 yards. I think he scrambles. I think he makes plays. And I think in a must-win game, the Bills show up in a big way. As for the Eagles, they do have a great win against the Chiefs on Monday night, but this is a short week. This is a busy holiday week. I think this is a bad matchup against a powerful offensive team in the Bills on a short week that is emotional after their win on Monday night. So I just think this is a sneaky spot for the Bills plus 3.5 and a must-win spot. And I know the Bills don't play any defense. And we've seen the Eagles in some shootouts this year, so give me the over 48. This one has my alarms going off because I think everyone will be on the Ravens. And for good reason. The Ravens score 40 every week. They play good defense. But the last time the Ravens had to leave home, now keep in mind, they've had 4 home games in a row. This will be the first time they leave home again on a holiday week. And they go all the way out west, where when they went out west to Arizona, they did not look as strong. So I think the Chargers are better than Arizona. So this is just a be careful spot for me. Over 46.5 would be my pick, and the Chargers plus 3.5. I think the playoffs are as good as gone for the Chargers. I do think mathematically they have a chance to get in, but it has to start with a win here. They return home after a bad loss to Green Bay, and there's no other way to put it. It was a bad loss to Green Bay. And at the end of the day, this Chargers team doesn't lose by more than 3. I think 80% of their losses have been by 3 points or less. So I'll continue that trend, plus 3.5 for the Chargers. And our Monday night is an NFC North battle with the Vikings in the playoffs as the season ended today. And they did have a rough loss to Denver last week, but a conference opponent comes in, but a conference opponent that is as healthy as it's been all year. Justin Fields is back. He's got his weapons. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in this one either. I don't know if the Bears are just content with losing out and getting a decent draft pick. Now they already have a decent draft pick, probably from the Panthers. Not probably, they do have a decent draft pick from the Panthers. I get a little concerned in these types of games later on in the year because I don't think teams intentionally tank, but you never know. So Vikings, it's more of a win spot here for the Vikings. So give me Vikings -3.5 and over 43 in another low confidence pick. I tried to speed it up for you guys, and it's going to have to be that way as the weeks go on because we don't have any more bye weeks. So let me know in the comments who you think is going to win some of these games. If I've got something wrong, go ahead and call me out. I can take it. We'll see you next week.